Hello and welcome to another edition of The Platformer Chronicles. Today I'm going to be reviewing Bug for the Sega Saturn. Okay, listen up guys. This game, Bug, is one of the hardest games I've ever fucking played in my entire life. This game is brutal. Brutal! It will kick your ass back and forth. It is so fucking difficult to even get past the first fucking world. Now, I like this game, and I might even, I do like it. And he's a cool character. I like the concept of bugs and all that shit. But let me tell you something. This game needed more work, and they made these asinine choices with this game. And it is not that fun to play. It just makes you grind your teeth, and I always use cheats when I play it, because it's so fucking hard. And I've rage quitted it quite a bit, but I'm not against the concept. And the biggest compliment I'll give to this game is that it's a visual gem to look at. The game is very pretty. I really like the graphics of this game. Bug, Sega Saturn. Is this the very first 3D platformer ever? Because this predates Mario 64, Crash Bandicoot, even Sonic 3D Blast. Maybe Jumping Jack Flash, I think, came out the same year as this. But this and Jumping Jack Flash are the first 3D platformers ever. So Bug gets that title. But he gets the title as being one of the hardest video game characters to ever play. Okay, and I also have Bug 2, which is way better, by the way. Anyway, just listen to this music, this manic insanity of this music. Do you hear this shit? And that's the music in the whole fucking game. Just this manic insanity, like carnival music, like jazz, intense jazz bullshit. Doesn't it sound like you're about to get a fucking heart attack? What kind of music is this? Jesus. So ridiculous. But also, like, what's the character's name? Is his name just Bug? I mean, that confuses me, but whatever. The game should absolutely have unlimited continues. If you put in a cheat code, you can have unlimited continues. But that should be just part of the whole damn game. It's not like other games where you get a game over and it feels fair. This game is so brutally difficult. I mean, it's not just one of the hardest platformers I've ever played. It's one of the hardest games, period, I've ever played. I think, did the people who made this game, were you guys masochists who created Bug back in the day? You people actually expect us to get this far in the game without cheats? I mean, if you got super far in this game without cheats, then you deserve a fucking gold medal. I mean, Jesus Christ. It also kind of reminds me of A Bug's Life, and this does predate that movie. So here's the story of the game. Bug is basically a movie star, which is interesting, but it doesn't make sense. I mean, he's a fucking bug. So are human beings filming him? Does that make any sense? I don't know. So let me tell you the big flaws of this game. And there's really like three big things that make the game a pain in the ass. First of all, the levels are fucking enormous. And it takes like an eternity for you to find a checkpoint. And that's ridiculous. And even in the first level, it takes what feels like an eternity to find a checkpoint. And that's in all the levels. And the checkpoints are so fucking scarce in this game. And also, another thing is, the enemies, they're extremely finicky to kill, some of them. Especially the fucking bees. The bees are the worst in this game. They're so brutal to kill. These are the bees in this game. And I think they're supposed to be like a parody of war bombers from World War II or whatever. They are brutal. They put the hardest villain in the game right here on the front cover. Your greatest fucking enemy. Just ridiculous. In like the second level of the game, there's a whole swarm of bees that attack the fuck out of you. It's the second goddamn level. Are you kidding me? And also, there should not be a game over in this game in particular. You should just be able to continue no matter what. Because the game is so damn hard. Do you people actually expect kids to play this game and have fun? Like, no wonder this wasn't a big hit at the time. And it should have been. And they barely promoted it also when this was released for the Sega Saturn. It was shown a tiny bit, but There was like no commercials for Bug or shit like that. So they didn't promote it really. I don't understand that. This video game, Bug, from 1995, is actually kind of like Spot Goes to Hollywood for the Sega Saturn. It's very similar where Spot is on a movie set going to the different movies. This was pretty common back in the 90s, the mid-90s, with the platformer characters, but who did it best, entering into different movies and pop culture references? Well, our boy Gex did it best, not Bug. And also, why are the checkpoints so fucking scarce in this game? I know I already mentioned that, but geez, I mean, it really is a huge problem. Also, like, I do love the fact that the levels are huge, because I love that in stuff like Banjo-Kazooie. So it's not that it's not a problem that the levels are huge. It's the fact that there should be at least 5 to 6 checkpoints in each level. It's like, choose either one. Have more checkpoints or make the levels shorter. The levels are enormous. And you will die so many fucking times. So each world is like 3 levels, and good luck getting past the first fucking world. I don't expect a kid to get past the first fucking world of this game. Also, the boss battles are very hard, and even the first boss was really hard. And it's the first fucking world, are you kidding me? Every boss is brutally difficult. I feel like I'm getting stepped on like a bug playing this game. You will die so many damn times. While the graphics are really charming with the rectangles and stuff, there are pathways that you think you can jump and get to, but you can't, and it won't let you. And that's ridiculous. Why does it have to be that stingy? Why does it have to be that precise to a T? Why? It's just so frustrating. And his jump is so tiny, it's pathetic. And also, they give you this zap attack in the game, which extends to the character like barely an inch forward. The zap attack is pathetic. And you have to collect it, too, if you want to use any other attack other than jumping on enemies. Why do you have to collect it? Why can't you just have the zap attack? And I don't even use it when I get it, because it's so fucking pathetic. You have to be, like, this close to your enemy to kill it, which is ridiculous. Of course, the levels get harder as you go, which makes sense. That's a fair thing for a video game, so I'm not going to complain about that. But the later levels, if you thought the first world was difficult, holy shit, grab on tight to your seatbelts, boys and girls, because it gets brutal from like World 2 and 3 and 4, and especially that the final 3 worlds are ridiculously difficult. This should have been a fun game that could have been a big hit for Sega in 1995 because it was one of the first games to launch with the Sega Saturn in the United States. But no, they had to make it mercilessly difficult. Man, if you were a kid playing this on a kiosk back in the 90s, you'd go and you'd play it for like 3 minutes and you'd be like, oh, fuck this, I don't want to play this game. You know, Sonic is actually in this game, which is very cool. Did you know that this game was supposed to originally be a Sonic Sega Saturn title, but they changed it to Bug? And if you look at the canceled Sonic Extreme game, doesn't this kind of look the gameplay footage of Sonic Extreme? It has that same vibe to it, which is really interesting. I wasn't against them making this new character for the Saturn. Easily, without a debate, Sonic should have launched with the Sega Saturn, and they should have released a Sega Saturn version of Sonic CD. Because, like I explained in another Platformer Chronicles vid, Sega had more characters than Nintendo, and the Saturn introduced new characters: Knights, Bug, Pepper from Clockwork Knight, What's-His-Face from Burning Rangers, Astral. They introduced new awesome Sega Saturn characters, just like how they had awesome Sega Genesis characters. But this game needed way more work. I mean, it's insane how difficult this game is. And maybe I suck at games, but I think I'm pretty good at games. I'm not amazing. On certain games I am, but I don't suck at video games. Let me know what you guys think if you ever played this game. Because if they made this game fun and easy to play, then people would have really taken more of a lighthearted nature to it, and it could have been a hit game on the Sega Saturn if they promoted it. The thing is, they promoted the hell out of Nights into Dreams, but not this game for some fucking reason. Now, Bug 2 is way better than the first game, but even still, Bug 2 has mostly the same problems as the first Bug. And also, you know, it gets kind of confusing to know where to go, but I mean, that part's okay, I guess. Now, I'm sorry I don't have the cutscenes to show you what happens in between each level. There's a tiny cutscene where the character of Bug moves from set to set of a different design. Like, it'll be a western level, and then he'll go to the ice world. And all he does is walk to the next level with the same fucking track, slowly walks to each new level in like a 5-second cutscene with the same fucking music over and over again through every world. That's your big reward for beating this mercilessly brutal world, is to just see this tiny cutscene of Bug walking to the next stage. It's just absurd. That's your big reward? That's what they came up with in between the levels? Do you guys remember, like, the cutscenes in the PS1 games? All the kind of awesome cutscenes you got to see when you beat levels and shit? Well, it's not here on the Sega Saturn, unfortunately. And I love the Sega Saturn. I don't dislike the character Bug. I guess you can say I half hate this game. But I still don't think it's a terrible game. But it is just, it's just so painful. It's a painful experience. Because I want to love the game. And part of me does love the game. I love Sega. I love the Saturn. I really like this character Bug. But that's the thing about this game that makes it so fucking frustrating. Is because all they needed to do was make this game fun and way easier to play. That's all they needed to do. That would not have been difficult. But no, they just made it as merciless and as brutal to play as possible. Just as a centerpiece of the time period for the graphics and the character, it is a classic, but it's a brutally, mercilessly difficult classic title, which is unnecessarily difficult. So it is a classic, but it's a classic with a lot of baggage that goes along with it. It's unfortunate and it's sad that I have to report this. But if you're going to play Bug, I recommend highly for anyone, ever, I don't care how skilled you are as a gamer, put on the damn cheats every time you start the game. No matter what. And I promise you, guarantee, on my mother's grave, you will have a 100% better game experience. What is amusing about this game, my copy, my game case, it's cracked at the top, like it's busted, you see? And I just find that amusing. Because my case is squashed like a bug, and it's like this game deserves it. This game, like, it deserves this crack in my case. It's a sign when I got this in the mail, and this was cracked. It's a sign that you're about to play something that is broken, that needed way more fucking work. And like I said, the biggest compliment I can give this title is that the graphics are really awesome, especially for the time period. This was really cool looking stuff. I do praise the game for its graphics, and I can't say the same about the music, because the music is so damn repetitive, and every song sounds exactly the same during the entire game. And also, why is the same boss music for every boss? This isn't an 8-bit game, this isn't Super Mario Bros. It's a new 3D Sega Saturn title. Every boss should have its own fucking music. Lazy. I mean, was this game rushed to meet the 1995 launch of the Saturn? Is that what the big problem was? Also, a very minor complaint, but it is pretty annoying. Every time you start the damn game, you have to reset the button combinations. I'll show you. Now, you'd think because it's a platformer title, the buttons would automatically be set for the A button to jump. But no, it has the shitty zap attack as A, then the spit attack. Yes, you can spit in this game, which is okay as an attack, but you barely use it. And they put jump as C on the controller. Why would you put the C button as the standard as the jump? So every time you start a new game, you have to change it to what everyone on planet Earth knows the A button is. Jump in every game. And it's a platformer. You gotta be fucking kidding me. I know it's a minor complaint, but still, the fact that you would have to go into the options literally every time you start the game to do this is absurd. They could even get the button combinations right on what's supposed to be the jump button in a platformer game. And this is one of the first games for the Sega Saturn. Isn't it hilarious how the music is just insane, how quick it is, while I'm rambling and ranting right now? Listen to this shit. You hear it? Yeah, it's the music in this game, especially in this menu, is like an allegory for the game itself. It'll make you ram your head into the wall. It'll give you a headache. It'll make you lose your fucking goddamn mind playing Bug on the Sega Saturn. I'm being as fair as I can with this game, because I do actually still like this game, but I gotta be brutally honest. The character's cool, and there's stuff that's cool about this game, but it's just too damn fucking difficult. Thank God there's cheats that you can use in the game. So anyway, I did say Sonic's in the game, right? You can actually race him in one of the bonus stages, which is amazing to see. Does this mean that Bug is technically a Sonic game on the Sega Saturn? Because there was 3 Sonic titles on the Sega Saturn, right? But he also appeared in Bug, and also Bean the Dynamite and Bark the Polar Bear appeared as playable fighters in Fighters Mega Mix. In this game, in Fighters Mega Mix. So does that mean that this counts as a Sonic game also? It has Sonic characters in it that you can fight with them. And also, you can unlock like a Green Hill Zone fighting level in it. So not only that, but it has a Sonic level in this game. So does that mean this is a Sonic game also? Technically, yes, no, I don't know. This has been another episode of a rant of a Sega Saturn platformer, Bug. The very first 3D platformer. Thank you for watching The Platformer Chronicles.